You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good morning on this beautiful, beautiful morning after a torrential last night, but it's beautiful right now, and we welcome you. My name is Star Sterrett. I'm a religious science practitioner, and I'm going to lead you in a guided meditation. More so, I'm going to read a quote from Dr. Holmes, and then I want us to reflect in our hearts and in our imagination and in our minds what that can mean for us. And so here we go. My existence is a harmonious progression, that of a son of God entering fully into conscious sonship. My career through this is a joyous, happy expression, a daily expansion into realms of life and living. My life in God is ageless, deathless. Abiding, I now surrender every personal doubt, fear, or hard feeling that would retard the perfect flow of life through me. There is no obstruction, no barrier in my mind, veins, or affairs. I am harmonious, peaceful, free, and unafraid. And I would like you to, if you feel comfortable, to just close your eyes with this statement and just use your imagination to set yourself free from the past and allow the present moment to unfold more perfectly than you can even imagine. So here we go. Take a deep breath. And another one. And just relax on the exhale. Let your shoulders drop. And we're probably going to go in for about 5 minutes of silence, because in the silence, all your answers are available. If your mind wanders, just come back. Let the thought go. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know the power and the presence of the divine is all around you. It never leaves you. You are always cared for. Always, somewhere within you, you are already in a state of pure love, pure presence. pure peace. Now, in this peace, in this peaceful vibration that we are in right here and right now, you can call it a room. Use your imagination. And in it, nothing is going on that is wrong. Nothing is going on that is bad. Everything is peaceful and unified. And from this space, from this expression of the God that is in you, that runs through you, for you, and as you, you can make this statement: I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I am free. I am free. I am free. Breathe in. Breathe out. Joy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Happiness. Breathe in. Breathe out. I am aware. I have come. I have come. I have come. Now slowly come back to the present moment, to the world around you. Slowly open your eyes and give a sigh of peace that is felt around the world now. And so it is. Thank you.
You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome.
Good morning. Center for Spiritual Living St. George welcomes you. We're so glad that you're here today. I wanted to make a side note. For those of you that are new to the area, we have normally, not always, but normally July and August is called the monsoon season, where we can get torrential rains. And we certainly had that yesterday. And in Washington, lots of hard rock hail. So I just wanted to give a shout out for those of you that have been praying for rain and for doing the rain dances. Nicely done. You did it. So who are we? We are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. So today we continue August, since we're in the middle of August, the 15th, 16th. We continue a pause for guidance. And the talk today will be Sparking the Imagination. So let me tell you who's here. My name is Gwen Hadley. I'm the host. We have Marina Anderson behind the scenes, filming and putting slides up and doing everything tech that she can do. Star, thank you for that beautiful meditation. Just wonderful, wonderful. We have Cheryl Barlow, of course, doing our music. Chris McCardle will do our invocation. And we have Alan Stanley that's going to read our Sacred Covenant. And Anita will provide this, our practitioner will provide the talk today. So with that, I would love to introduce my good friend Cheryl, who does a wonderful job with music. Good morning, Cheryl.
Morning, Gwen. I hear the chiming of the bells welcoming us into service this morning.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start. This song is an original song that was inspired by Emerson's essay, The Oversoul, which is really, really spoke to me. And we just want to connect with Source and that unity that's underlining all humanity. So at first, I just invite you to listen, and after the invocation, we'll have an opportunity to sing together. Take heed, my soul, you are wiser than you know. Sent to worship plain and true. The source of my delight may be hidden from sight. Moments of faith come through. Aim high, be brave. Let the soul have its way. Reveal, refine. Live with the unity divine. Take heed, my soul, the common heart is whole. The answer in words unknown. The truth will be perceived by the soul that can believe. Call the light its own. Aim high, be brave. Let the soul have its way. Reveal, refine. Live with the unity divine. Now I'm going to welcome Chris McCardle. He's going to do our invocation. Hey, Chris.
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, everyone. Let's settle in and begin preparing ourselves for service. As we take that moment and pause for the guidance and the wisdom of the one divine knowing, the magic that we reference as God, the power that sits behind all things, that comes in through every thought, that is born in every new idea, that is that absolute sparking of our imagination. So as I know we begin service, I pause for that guidance. I open my heart. I open who I am to listen to these words, to allow my dreams of life as I see it, to become bigger, to become open, to become expansive, and not to be caught up in what might be showing up before my eyes, but to see the bigger dream, to know the truth that is God and God is behind it all. So as I open service this morning, I'm delighted for every person here. I'm grateful for our speakers, for our texts, for our musicians, for all of you there tuning in with us this morning. I'm grateful that you're here to share in the dream of the imagination and to take that pause for guidance. So with that gratitude, I just simply open service. I open it to all that is possible. I open it to everyone's hearts to listen, to receive, and to become the best that you know you can be. So I let that be. I let service start, and I just simply let it go. And I say these words by saying, and so it is. And so it is.
So it is. Beautiful. Amen and amen. Okay. So these words will be on screen if you'd like to just affirm them, and just let's join that collective unity together. Take heed, my soul, you are wiser than you know. Sent to worship plain and true. The source of my delight may be hidden from sight. Moments of faith come through. Aim high, be brave. Let the soul have its way. Reveal, refine. Live with a unity divine. Take heed, my soul, the common heart is whole. The answer in words unknown. The truth will be perceived by the soul that can believe. Call the light its own. Aim high, be brave. Let the soul have its way. Reveal, refine. Live with a unity divine. Okay, there's my friend Alan, and he's going to do our sacred reading today. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Cheryl. Thank you. That was a wonderful song. We were singing along with you here.
Yay.
So anyway, welcome everybody. We're going to read our sacred covenant, which is our affirmation for our new minister. Please, if you wish, read along. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And knowing that I am one with this life, I know that I am one with all its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister reveals wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which we believe, for it is written, "Let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our own lives as freely as it has been given to us. Let us give it to others. Thus alone shall we be made whole." Ernest Holmes. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as growing the sinner in joy and prosperity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself, for I live in the presence and law of God. I demonstrate wisdom through a mature understanding of the wholeness of life. I am accountable and willing to take full responsibility for my actions. I participate in and support the nurturance and guidance of the community. I act from wholeness and congruence in thought, word, and action. I walk the talk. I embrace, please express your personal truth here. I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, knowing that they are revealed in a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. And I am grateful. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Oh, I know our new minister is on the way. Thanks, Alan. So as a couple people have mentioned, in August we are looking at a pause for guidance, and this week's focus is sparking imagination. Imagination. Emerson had this to say about imagination. He said, whatever appears to the imagination, by transcending the ordinary limits of human ability, wonderfully encourages and liberates us. Science of Mind founder Ernest Holmes, he wrote this: know that the greater abundance of every good thing which you are bringing out in your life, the more perfectly you are satisfying the divine urge within. Those manifestations of our imagination show up in our lives in all of the dreams that we focus on and then get to live out. And Walt Disney is certainly one of society's greatest examples of being an entrepreneur, an animator legend. And he was so devoted to imagination that he called his engineers Imagineers, and his department was the Imagineering department. They had a ride at Disney World called The Journey to Imagination. And Disney had this beautiful quote that could be straight out of Science of Mind that said, when you believe in a thing, believe in it all the way, implicitly and unquestionably, which it certainly appeared that he did. So this is a song called One Little Spark, and it is from that ride, and I thought it was perfect for today. One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation, right at the start of everything that's new. One little spark lights up for you. Imagination, imagination. A dream can be a dream come true with just that spark in me and you. We all have sparks, imaginations. That's how our minds create creations, for they can make our wildest dreams come true. Those magic sparks in me and you. Imagination, imagination. A dream can be a dream come true with just that spark in me and you. Yay! Thank you, Disney. Okay, Gwen, back to you. Oh, hello, Anita. I think we're going straight to this delightful, wonderful talk.
I think we've got all three of us. Thank you, Cheryl.
That's
beautiful.
better.
You always match the songs with just such an appropriate message that Anita's going to deliver. And I can't imagine anyone doing this better than Anita, because she bubbles with imagination and enthusiasm. So take it away.
Oh, thank you. That might be a really nice way of saying I'm in my own world, but you know, I'm happy. Oh, Cheryl, that was perfect. And it just set the stage so well for this talk of pausing for guidance and sparking imagination. And so This is our theme for the month, pausing for guidance. And in the first week, Joe Kovac talked about taking time for a tune-up, pausing to notice what needs loving attention in our physical, emotional, or spiritual body, and then tapping in to spiritual mind treatment as a path to healing. And then the second week, our dear Eugene Holden shared his thoughts on what it means to pause for inspiration and how it can be done playfully. And so this week's theme, Sparking Imagination, has also been a fun topic for me to explore. And that opening song was just fun. So thank you again, Cheryl. I want to inform you right off the bat that I have rated this talk PG because I'll be using the G word liberally. And so if the name God makes you squirm a little bit, don't look for parental guidance, pause for guidance, and let your inner wisdom choose a name that reflects your current understanding of the universal intelligence. So let's begin with a working definition of imagination, and then we'll see how it relates to spirituality. Because after all, we are in this conversation to find support on our journey of spiritual living, however that looks for each individual. So our first slide, this is the most applicable definition that I found of imagination, and it's from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Imagination is the act or power of forming a mental image of something not present to the senses or never before wholly perceived in reality. So how does that relate to spirituality? Well, from the sense mind point of view, we recognize the power that we call God as the source of everything and the life within everything that exists. So if we were to personify God, in order to make this principle more understandable in human terms, we might say that God is infinitely creative and that God creates by continually imagining itself in and as all of the expressions of life. So God imagines and becomes. So if this thing I'm calling God is everything in existence, then it's me and it's you. And therefore, it is our inherent nature to be creative. And how do we create? Through our power of imagination. The universal intelligence that I might call the God mind actually operates in and through every individual's mind. In other words, God uses the human mind as an avenue for the expression of ideas, intuition, and imagination. A healthy imagination stimulates creativity and innovation. It ignites passion and elicits curiosity and wonder and joy. Dr. Ernest Holmes in the Science Mind textbook cautions us to use our faculty of imagination consciously and intentionally because it is a creative process. He said this: "We should carefully consider whether we are willing to experience the results of our thoughts. The will must first analyze, dissect, and then decide what it wishes the inner imagination to work on. The will is directive, but the imagination is creative." And that's from the Science Mind text on pages 193 and 195. So my take on this is, don't let anything sneak into your imagination until it has been cleared by your will. Take care to clarify in your own mind what you really want. You know, I've never really bought into the admonition to be careful what you ask for, be careful what you pray for. But I have a little bit better perspective on what that means now. Stay in the question long enough to discover what your heart truly desires. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview for life's coming attractions." Once we realize just how powerful and creative and effective this human quality of imagination is, we recognize the importance of using it in life-enhancing ways rather than in life-diminishing ways. Deepak Chopra said, "The best use of imagination is creativity. The worst use is anxiety." The nature of our imagination generally corresponds to our mental and emotional state, right? So when we're feeling supported, loved, grateful, receptive, and connected to spirit, our imagination is sparked so that we see potential and envision future possibilities. But on the other hand, if we're feeling fearful or agitated or unworthy or separated from our divine source, we may be triggered to imagine that something terrible is happening. Esther Hicks cautions us that worrying is using your imagination to create something you don't want. Our triggers are responses to a past experience or belief. And if that experience was negative, we re-experience it in that way, in our imagination. Ernest Holmes said, "Never limit your view of life by any past experience." And Stephen Covey said, "Live out of your imagination, not your history." Imagining disaster just kind of seems like a great waste of mental energy. Have you ever awakened in the middle of the night from a horrible dream and thought to yourself, "I want to go back to sleep and finish that nightmare"? I don't think so. What I do is make sure I'm awake enough to interrupt the story, and then I redirect my thoughts. And then I can fall back into a peaceful sleep. So what if we could use that method to upgrade our use of imagination? Wake up from the negative scenario, redirect, and then embrace a positive news story. So I have a cute story to share with you that was told by Catherine Ingram in her wonderful book, Passionate Presence. She had a 6-year-old friend who said to her, "Pretend you were surrounded by 1,000 hungry tigers. What would you do?" And she gave it some thought. And as she imagined herself in that scenario, she began to feel more and more tense. And she writes, "Would I pray? Probably not. Would I run? You can't outrun tigers." Anxiety began to take hold as I saw in my mind's eye the tigers closing in. I said to my young friend, "Wow, I don't know what I would do. What would you do?" And he replied, "I just stop pretending." So wake up, redirect, and embrace a new story. And Dr. Holmes said it this way: "What we now experience, we may cease experiencing if we have the will and the imagination to set our vision in an opposite direction and hold it there." And that's from Science Mind Text, page 418. When I spoke the last time, I talked quite a bit about the global vision for Centers for Spiritual Living. And here again, that vision is a perfect model for demonstrating this principle. For example, one of the statements in the global vision reads, "We envision a world in which every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging." We don't deny the facts of hunger, homelessness, loneliness, or separation in the world. We state our desire in the form of an affirmation, and we fire up our imagination, and we plant a new vision in the reciprocal medium that we call universal law. You know, it's the quantum field where everything takes shape. And you know, as I was praying that sacred covenant with Alan, reading it this morning, I realized that that too is a perfect example of how we use our imagination to charge up our prayers, to fire them up, and to plant this new vision of what we truly desire into the universal law. So maybe it sounds simple to just turn the imagination 180 degrees and embrace a new spectrum of possibilities. Like the little boy said, just stop pretending. But we know that changing old habits and learning new skills and new ways usually takes diligence and patience and practice, practice, practice. So I'm going to offer a few tips of my own to help turn our vision in the right direction. And I'm calling these tips to boost your IQ, which is your imagination quotient. First of all, we are more receptive to the divine spark when we slow down, pause, and listen for guidance. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, meditate. If you don't think you know how to meditate, just get still. And if that's a challenge for you, just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And 3 deep breaths is even better, because you will have accomplished up to a half a minute of stillness when you do that. And perhaps in time, you'll catch that wave and want to do that longer, and you'll see the benefits. Next is create space in your day for what I have termed the 3 S's: spontaneity, serendipity, and synchronicity. Spontaneity, serendipity, and synchronicity. And when I have those kinds of experiences, I just light up and I think, wow, isn't that interesting? That was really cool. I better pay attention. Next is practice spending less on autopilot and more time doing things consciously, intentionally, and mindfully. An acquaintance of mine once said to me, I just don't get this mindfulness stuff. I have no idea what that means. So if mindfulness is still a vague kind of new agey idea for you, get curious and investigate. There's a wealth of resources and mindfulness practices available online or even in the library. And you may like being enlightened in that way. Next is indulge regularly in visualizing your desires. Excuse me. As I recently watched the Summer Olympics competitions, I heard so many athletes attest to this practice of visualizing their desires. One in particular, his name was Tom Daley, and he's a diver from Great Britain, and he had just won his first gold medal. And he spoke to this so well that I grabbed a pen and I backed up the recording on the TV and I wrote down his words. He said, the power of visualization and imagining yourself on the top is what you gotta do. I dreamt since I was a little kid of winning a gold medal. I never visualized anything but the gold. And next is engage all 5 senses, plus your feelings and emotions, as you imagine your desire already fulfilled. That's how we bring a dream to life. Esther Hicks said, use your imagination until your big dream feels so familiar that its manifestation is the next logical step. And Wayne Dyer called it thinking from the end, behaving as if all that I'd like to create is already here. He said, you must attach yourself spiritually to what you have placed in your imagination as a future fact, and never allow anything to alter what you know to be your destiny. And my last tip for boosting your IQ is practice injecting more creative imagination into your prayers. So I'll be closing today, as we usually do, with prayer, but I want to talk for just a minute or two about prayer, affirmative prayer. Can you remember the first time you heard or read a prayer in the Science of Mind and Spirit philosophy? You may have noticed it sounded different than prayers that you were accustomed to, maybe kind of strange. These are not prayers of supplication to a higher power out there, separate from us. They are prayers that affirm what we already accept as reality in our life as spirit. That God is all there is, that everything that it exists is God outpictured in form or idea or circumstance, that God is a power for good, in fact, the only power, and that we can use this power to create the life we desire. In affirmative prayer, we mentally align with what we know is already so in the infinite mind of God, which is where all of creation begins. In the Science of Mind textbook, Dr. Holmes says, our mental acceptances should be filled with conviction, warmth, color, and imagination. The creative power responds to feeling more quickly than to any other mental attitude. So we speak with conviction. We visualize the condition we wish to see. We give it color and context. We engage our emotions. Holmes called this the fire in the belly. It's the passion that lights up our prayers. So after I finished preparing this talk, I was inspired to practice what I preach and write a prayer infused with imagination. So I want to share it with you now, and I'm inviting you to claim my words as your own. So if you're willing, I ask you to just settle in, relax, close your eyes if that helps you focus, and breathe in and breathe out. And imagine with each breath that you are drawing in the divine energy that gives life to every person, everything, every condition, every circumstance. And imagine with each exhale that you, a divine being, are sharing your breath of life with absolutely everything that exists. For I know that there is only one life. And it is that thing I call God, Spirit, the divine. Therefore, God is my life and the life of every person. I am, as each person is, a perfect and unique individualization of spirit. Every face I see is the face of the divine. Each one's name is another name for God. Divine love finds its place in every heart. And as I call forth the truth in my heart, I speak it for each one who hears my voice. I unleash my divine gift of imagination as a creative energy that enhances life for all. I am the architect of my life. I draw the life I desire and I color it with vibrant imagination. I tend my mental garden. I pull out any weeds of fear, judgment, or negativity and plant only what I wish to grow. My mind operates in perfect coherence with the infinite mind of God. I welcome the wellspring of opportunities to connect with others in a heartfelt way. Knowing that every person shows up in the world as a point of light through which the divine reveals itself, I envision each one radiating contagious joy, harmony, and deep fulfillment. I offer the warmth of my heart to all who may be feeling the chill of loneliness, loss, or fear. I clear a path in my mind so that all may cross safely, encountering no harsh terrain, only compassion. Every soul steps into its own magnificence in its own time, expressing its highest and best version of the Divine One. And so I am humbled and grateful, knowing that the blessings of divine life far exceed anything I can imagine. I celebrate in awe and wonder all things working together for good. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, Anita, beautiful, beautiful words, beautiful prayer. And you make inspiration fun. So thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day. Oh, I don't know if any of you feel this, but boy, in everyone that's spoken today, do I feel the spark and the energy. Wow, it's palpable. Anyway, let's go on with our announcements. We still are preparing our monthly Saturday in-person gathering. We're just not sure where it's going to be yet. We're getting pretty close, but we will let you know as soon as we know. But it will be Saturday, August 28th from 10 to 11:30, and we'll have treats. And we invite you to come because it just is so great to connect with all of you. The book club continues. Thank you, Sue Fulmer, for doing this. And you don't need to start the book in the beginning. So join anytime. You can see the information there on the screen. So please join. They have wonderful conversations and insight. We continue spread the love. And there are many ways that you can give. And we are so grateful for all the time and treasures and money that you can share with us. So you can scan the little symbol here in the center. You can give by text. You can give online on Breeze. And you can also give just by sending us a check. So we are grateful and we appreciate all that you do. And we are here for you. Our community care circle continues. Prayer requests from our practitioners. If you need anything at all, if you need a call, if you need a prayer, or you know someone that needs a card or a prayer, please let us know. Reach out to us so that we can reach out to you. Please join us after. We always have a lively conversation on Zoom. While we get together and there's some chit chat, most importantly, we discuss the ideas that the speaker shared with us in their talk. And I think today will just be delightful with Anita. I think the subject matter is so interesting. So please join us. You can access the link. It's in our Facebook page. It's in our monthly newsletter. So please join us if you have the time. Oh, so the next 2 Sundays, what a treat. So next Sunday, we have our own Reverend Laura Hallett back. Oh, are we excited about that? GPS. I don't think it's the GPS we have in the car. So that will be interesting. And then our special guest, Steph Swink, will join us on the 29th to end August with Ride and Reemerge. So please join us for those. Those are going to be wonderful talks. And now Marina is going to pop everybody up for our closing affirmation. Woo, we're all here.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it. I embrace it and I share it.
just the way that it is.
and just the way that it is becoming.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.
Yay.
Thanks for being
Yay.
here, everybody.
Wonderful
Have a
day, you
wonderful
guys.
day.
Thank you all for joining us.
And we'll see you next week, if not in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, come join us in the Zoom. You'll love it. It's fantastic.
We're really a fun bunch.
Uh-huh.